India and China explore border demarcation amid U.S. tensions. So, in the same way that Russia and China, countries that, let's say, had tensions over the course of decades, where the U.S. would usually play one to go after the other, were pushed together because the United States came to some conclusion that we were a superpower. Well, same thing is happening now with China and India, where they were like, all right, look, we're going to get closer. Let's try to find a way to patch houses and maybe deal with
Jamar,
this border issue. Or
let's
do you
give
believe it?
Trump let's give Trump a Nobel Peace Prize already. that man that man has been the peacemaker all the world all over. I mean, this would have never happened if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
He's
If
bringing
it
countries
wasn't for
together.
if it wasn't for Trump putting the squeeze on India the way that he had done, we probably would not have seen this China India soft rapprochement we're seeing right now, because for a long time India was practicing what they view as strategic autonomy, which means they can be in the anti-China bandwagon of Quad together with United States on one hand, but also be a founding member of BRICS on the other hand. This is how India saw that, how they could derive maximum advantage from both sides, right? But as we all know, United States have no partners. United States have no allies. U.S. can only have vassals. And this is why Donald Trump is publicly demanding India to come bend the knee and kiss the ring. And in particularly over the purchasing of Russian oil. So this is, Donald Trump said he's going to slap secondary sanctions on anybody who purchased Russian oil. Well, the largest purchase of Russian oil is number one, China. Number two is India. And there's nothing Trump can do about China because what he does not want to return back to the month of May when each side were slapping each other with 100 over 100% tariffs, and on top of that, China, as I mentioned, China have got U.S. by the balls over the control of rare earth. They still can have to beg for rare earth export license for the Chinese Commerce Ministry. So China have cards. This is where India is a weaker party when it comes to negotiation with U.S. U.S. felt that they could squeeze India because he can. It doesn't expect India to hit back, right? Whereas now India is actually standing up and defending its sovereignty, because for India's perspective, it does not make sense to give up on its long-standing traditional friendship with Russia, which dates all the way back to the days of Soviet Union. And India also depends on on Russia for both weapon systems and oil. And Donald Trump wants India to completely cut off that ties and switch to buy energy from the United States and to buy weapons from the United States. And that just does not make sense from India's perspective. No. I think what happened with India is Indian leadership overestimated their influence in Washington, right? This is why they thought they could be, cozy up to U.S. and this is why they're also cozying up to Israel. They thought, okay, we're buddies, we're allies. But look, you can never compete with Israel for attentions of the United States. Israel is a special golden child. Nobody comes close. Nobody comes even close, to have that kind of relationship with the United States. So when you don't have a strong hand like China has, U.S. will try to bully you. And that's what happened. And this force India now is trying to seek a rapprochement with China. Now let's remember, many people call India the weakest link in the BRICS because India have a very different vision for BRICS from fellow BRICS members like Russia and China, because Russia and China wants BRICS to play the role of counterbalancing United States, counterbalancing the U.S.-led international world system as an alternative. Now, India is all for an alternative system, but India does not want BRICS to be perceived to be anti-West or anti-US, because India itself before was trying to cozy up to US and try to get on good terms, because India was expecting it to profit from US-China tension.
Right.
When Biden administration was forcing multinationals to decouple from China, to move the supply chain out of China in the so-called friendshoring, right? Like India was hoping to receive some of those manufacturing, like Apple. Apple was shifting more of its iPhone manufacturing to India in order to satisfy the U.S. market.
Right.
But Trump just said, "No, I didn't say I want you to make iPhones in India. I want you to make it in United States." So, so that, I mean, I just got and Peter Navarro just recently penned a article, I think in Financial Times, and it was going very hard on India. It's saying, "Oh, India is taking advantage of us. India is, taking advantage, and we can't trust doing sharing of military, advanced military technology to India because of India's ties with Russia and the BRICS. That could all the military technology could go the other way, go to Russia and go to China." So now India has been denied all the benefit it tried to hope to receive from having a close tie with US, right? Because Donald Trump is slapping them left and right with tariffs. For another reason is because Donald Trump's ego. Because right after the Pakistan Indian conflict, Pakistan publicly thanked Trump for his role to mediate and Pakistan. What did Pakistan do? They nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, whereas India immediately said, no, it has nothing to do with Trump. Trump didn't do anything. And this is Trump they're dealing with. Trump with a large ego. All you have to do is just butter him up, man. Just like buttering him up like Pakistan did. It's like, "Oh, you're so great. We nominate for you for Nobel Peace Prize." And by India publicly denying Trump's role, I mean Trump is not gonna like that. This is why
India was pissed, by the way. They were pissed.
They're
pissed.
not happy. They're not happy because they were expecting a reciprocal relationship from the United States, right? It's like, we are doing your part, trying to help you contain China, and all you do is hit us with big sticks with no carrots, right? But that's what U.S. does. U.S. wants unconditional surrender. You gotta bend your knee. And gotta go through the public humiliation ritual, right? Like what all the European leaders are doing right now in Washington. That's what Donald Trump wants to see happen. So this really forced India trying to seek more closer alignment with the rest of the BRICS countries, because at least India still have some dignity left, unlike the European leaders.
Yes.
They're trying to salvage their own sovereignty and their own pride. And one of the thing Modi's, when he appealed to his constituency in India, is he's appeared as like tough defenders of Indian sovereignty, right? So there's no way he can back down in front of what is seen as obviously bullying tactic by Trump. And also another thing Trump wants is he wants India to get rid of all the tariffs, protecting its domestic farm market, and allow American farm produce, which is heavily subsidized by the American government, by the way. And India cannot afford to do that because India has 60% of its population employed in the agriculture sector. And that just like a politically a no-go for the Modi government. So they will not back down on that. And this is why they're seeking realignment with China. And one of the biggest thorn on the side of the bilateral relationship between India and China is a border issue. So now they're trying to talk about demarcation of the border to calming down the tensions. And India is trying to reverse its restrictions on Chinese investment into India, because before 2021, China had like billions of dollars invested in Indian tech sector, but that fell off a cliff after Indian government started to ban the first. The ones first to kick out Huawei. They because that's the thing that United States want its allies to do, like the Europeans, to kick out Huawei from the 5G network implementation. And then India is the first country to ban TikTok. This is where how US was just copying India in banning the TikTok. So now India is signaling they're ready to make it easier for Chinese investment to come in. Because previously BYD was about to open a joint venture to produce electric cars in India, and that got canned because the restrictions by the Indian government. But now they're ready. They're sending the signal. They're ready to play ball, and that's why the Chinese Prime Minister Wang Yi was recently visiting India, meeting with Modi to pave way, basically, for Modi's visit at the end of this month to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting.
Oh, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah,
that is gonna be huge.
So give Trump a Nobel Prize, my man. He deserves it.
It's like these warring countries, they have now come together because of Donald Trump. I've shown you the clip, right, where Donald Trump punches Modi as opposed to hitting Putin. You would think, and what time is it? Okay, we have about 2 minutes. You would think that just rational man, that's all, not even bright man, just rational man, would say, they're the weak link to BRICS, so let's work with them, even if we need to take a mitten in dealing with them. But Trump's thing is, no, I need capitulation. That's what I need. Missing the fact, the history of India, the notion that a country that was a colony is going to somehow accept the United States trying to browbeat them into form. Oh, that was never going to go down well. And
India sees itself as the inheritor of ancient civilization, as a great power, as a great regional power. So they don't want to be treated as a pawn. They have more dignity than European leaders. I will say that.
But the European leaders seem to be pretty good on their knees. That's all bad.
Well,
but they seem to take to it.
They have been put in their position to do exactly that. I mean, all of them have been groomed from a young age through Atlantis' institutions to be Washington's bitch. I mean, they're just doing their job.
Can you imagine Modi saying, "Daddy, don't go," in the way that they said in Europe? I can't imagine any other country saying that. And yet, you got the European leaders, "Daddy, don't go. Don't leave us, Daddy." Carl, man, you have saved my ass this morning. You have my deepest appreciation forever for that. Carl Jha. Carl Jha is host of Silk and Steel podcast, focused on China and surrounding regions and their history, culture, and politics. You heard a bit of it this morning where he just did that on the fly, where it's like, Carl, I know we hadn't talked about this, but hey, can you give me some history on the start of the war? And you just goes into minute detail of that stuff. Oh, you're fantastic. You can follow Carl on Twitter at Carl Jha. You can follow his podcast on Twitter at Steel Silk In. And you can subscribe and support his podcast on patreon.com/Silk and Steel. You're fantastic, Carl. Thank you, my man.
Anytime, Jamar.
All right, be safe. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, Carl knows